We are Black Force. We are Wisconsin.
Downtown Phoenix, Arizona, another triple-digit temperature day, but that's what you expect in this part of the country at this time of year. But it's going to be nice and comfortable inside Chase Field for Game 3 of this 4-game weekend series. The Brewers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Taylor Youngman on the mound for the Crew against Ruby De La Rosa for Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay, pinch hitting for Brian Anderson. BA will be back with the Crew on Monday in San Francisco. Telly Hughes is our reporter here tonight. Well, Taylor Youngman, Rock, has been a great story, not just for the Brewers pitching staff, but really has been one of the good stories among pitchers all across baseball. Off to a start that most can only dream about. Let's see if we can keep that going.
Yeah, who would have thought? I mean, after coming up from the minor leagues with an earned run average over 6, Taylor Youngman, earned run average after 8 starts, a little over 2. It's been amazing to watch his progress. Passed a big test his last time out against the Pirates. That was the first time he faced a team more than once, so he did make some adjustments. The slider was very good. The changeup, he started to break that out. 3-0 in the month of July, and a 113 earned run average in 3 starts. He's allowed only 12 hits and only 3 runs in 24 innings of work, while eating up a lot of innings so far. So he has been a big surprise. The Brewers are 6-2 in his start so far.
And Taylor Youngman would love to have continued help from Ryan Braun, who is having himself a good series. Home runs in each of the last 2 nights. Telly Hughes will have more on Brawny as we continue from Arizona.
Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. The Brewers will go for back-to-back wins over the D-backs in Game 3 of this 4-game series after evening the series at 1 apiece last night. Good evening and welcome back inside Chase Field. I'm Telly Hughes. 2 runs proved to be enough for the Crew to pick up the win last night in a well-pitched game on both sides. One of those runs came courtesy of Ryan BRAUN, who hit his 18th home run of the season. BRAUN has homered in each of the first 2 games of this series while adding 4 RBI to his team-leading 61. Last night's opposite field home run is a good sign of things going well at the plate for number 8.
It's Ryan's swing, so I think he's taking his good swing, and you just look for, you kind of expect it. I mean, it's not going to happen every night, but when Ryan takes his good swings and he gets a fastball out over the plate, that's where it's going to go on a good swing.
Taylor Youngman will take the ball and looks to be the catalyst to lead the Brewers to back-to-back wins. Matt LePay and Bill Schroeder will be back after the break with the first pitch and call next from Phoenix.
By Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Alongside Bill Schroeder and Telly Hughes, our reporter, this is Matt LePay, and 108 outside, but a nice and comfortable 79 inside for Game 3 of this 4-game set. A split so far. Arizona winning on Thursday. Brewers taking care of business last night as Greg Counsell see his team have at it. Here's his batting order. The Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Gerardo Parra back in the lineup tonight. Had a pinch single last night. Jonathan Lucroy, Ryan BRAUN. Adam Lind will hit cleanup, followed by Carlos Gomez and Scooter Gennett. Gene Segura, Hernan Perez, and Taylor Youngman round out the batting order. And that order will face the right-hander Ruby De La Rosa as you look at Gerardo back in the lineup with that leadoff spot. Pinch hit for him last night and helped lead to a critical 9th inning run. Rock, a 2-0 lead at the time. They needed that second run.
Yeah, how good has he been? I mean, not just playing every day, getting in that starting lineup, but as a pinch hitter, doing a great job. Brewers overall, as we talked about on the pregame show, outstanding work as pinch hitters. Second best batting average off the bench in the National League. Parr with a big hit last night.
Here's tonight's starter, Ruby De La Rosa. The Brewers have seen him once. They get their second look at him this year here tonight.
I got a no decision in Milwaukee back on May 29th. 4 runs in 5 innings in a Diamondbacks victory. Won his last time out. He beat Miami 3-1. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. And that snapped a 4-game losing streak for De La Rosa.
Had a lot of help with the ground ball. 4 double plays he induced from Marlins hitters in that outing earlier in the week as we get set to begin Game 3 as Gerardo Parra. He had the .319 batting average among the National League leaders and has been another one of the very good stories this year for the Brewers. His name obviously pops up a ton as we approach the trade deadline, but he's a Brewer now and he has been a very good Brewer this year. We are underway in Arizona.
I don't think any coincidence that the Brewers have started to be more consistent scoring runs since Parra's been in that leadoff spot. Carlos Gomez down in the batting order, more of an RBI spot in that batting order, and it's paid off. Parra's done a great job up there.
He comes into tonight's game riding an 8-game hitting streak. He's behind the ball, 2 strikes. As you see, the leaders in hitting during the month of July, and he's been good for a longer stretch than that, but he has been spectacular this month. 429 clip in the month of July. A ball, 2 strikes to the game's leadoff hitter, Gerardo Parra.
You see De La Rosa's got a pretty good fastball. He can touch 98. He's got a slider and a changeup. He's thrown the changeup already once to Gerardo in this at bat. He's been very good here at Chase Field. He's 5-1 at home this year.
Came over in a trade last December from the Red Sox, 26 years old. Originally signed with the Dodgers back in 07. As Parra strikes out swinging, but he's going to be able to reach as it gets away from Wellington Castillo.
Yeah, that's going to be a pass ball. There's no reason why Castillo couldn't handle that one. Yeah, pitch away. It was off the outside corner, but Castillo, he boxes it. He's expecting it in. It's away, but he got to catch that. So a strikeout. The Brewers get their leadoff hitter on.
So a good start in a rather unusual way here for the Brewers tonight. As now Jonathan Lucroy will step in. Had a good night last night, 3 hits. See, he is enjoying a good series. That is a strikeout and a pass ball for those scoring. Parra the runner at first. Gerardo with 7 stolen bases coming into the game. Lucroy comes in .251, but he's hitting .282 since coming off the disabled list. Mentioned the 3 hits last night.
He's starting to swing the bat more like you remember Lucroy from last year. Up the middle, opposite field. You know, the consistency in the batting order has made a big difference in the Brewers' ability to score runs. Craig Counsell able to put that lineup out there. Same guys, same spot in the order, pretty much. I think that is one of the big reasons, and the fact they're healthy again. One of the reasons why they've been much better at getting men on base. Batting average continues to climb, and they're starting to score some runs.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of things well, pitching as well, especially those young starters. Jimmy Nelson terrific last night. Taylor Youngman has been, and looking for more of the same tonight. Let's see if the Brewers can stake Youngman to an early lead. 1-1 the count to Lucroy. Seen some pretty good pitching from young performers. Zach Godley in his big league debut on Thursday night, 6 innings of 4-hit shutout ball. Jimmy Nelson last night got out of some first inning trouble, likewise in the 3rd inning. As the Brewers were able to get a hard fought 2-1 win here in the 2nd game of the series. 1-1 pitch.
Yeah, a lot of movement for De La Rosa. Basically a 3-pitch pitcher. He's got big movement. He's touched 98, but that last fastball at 93 was a lot of sink. Gets a lot of ground ball outs. A ton of double play balls this year.
14, as a matter of fact, for the Diamondbacks right-hander. He's ahead of Lucroy, a ball, 2 strikes. Just getting started. 3rd game of the series. Wrap it up tomorrow afternoon, and then the Brewers move on to San Francisco for 3. Keeping an eye on Parra. De La Rosa, as I mentioned, signed with the Dodgers back in 2007. Made his big league debut 4 years later. But in 2012, his year was cut short. I mean, it was next to not happening. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, had to be shut down, had Tommy John surgery, was actually traded in August of that year to the Red Sox. Pitches inside, Parra on the move, and the throw to second is in time. Castillo cuts him down.
Yeah, pretty quick delivery for Wellington Castillo, so he wipes out the guy he allowed on base with the pass ball. Not a big lead. Good jump, though, but a good throw by Castillo to second base, and they're able to get him. A good tag by Chris Owings. Jerry Nairn on the phones back to the clubhouse. Just wants to make sure. I think they had him.
It's one that you would think could be a little bit tough to overturn, at least that first look that we saw. But he's still mulling it over.
Well, too close.
Yep.
And not, this is about as good a look as you're going to see. And you can see, you can't tell where the glove is, but Parra's hand in there, but it looks like he got the tag on it.
So the base is empty, a 2-2 count to Lucroy. There's a ground ball to Chris Owings. 2 men out of the first.
Let's check out the Diamondbacks defense brought to you by Menards tonight. 45 errors is off of the Diamondbacks. The 3rd fewest in the National League, so they've been very tight defensively. Peralta, Pollock, and INCIARTE in the outfield. You got Jake Land, Pennington, Chris Owings at second base, Paul Goldschmidt, the Gold Glover, and potential Triple Crown winner at first base, and Wellington Castillo. He's been busy already tonight.
There's Ryan Braun. He has had a little power display here in the desert these last couple of nights. 3-run homer in the 9th inning on Thursday, and then a solo blast last night in the 6th. And first pitch swinging, a base hit for Braun. Well, there's the first hit of the night for the Brewers. And the inning will extend for Adam Lind. The Brewers have had limited exposure against De La Rosa, but Lind in 8 at-bats has had some pretty good success. He's 5 for 8 in his turns against De La Rosa. Actually homered in the game at Miller Park in May.
Yeah, so did Gomez, a guy on deck off of Ruby De La Rosa. There's his numbers. That's pretty good for Adam Lind against tonight's starting pitcher.
On the runner at first with 2 outs. Go back to May 29th at Miller Park.
Opposite field shot on the fastball, and Adam Lind does that about as well as anybody, taking the ball to left field and with power. 2 home runs for the Brewers in that game, but they lost that particular game.
Braun is running. Pitch a strike, and Braun is in. He'll get the stolen base. So the Brewers trying to get the running game going here in inning number 1. Parra was cut down, but Braun gets the bag. And the Brewers with a runner in scoring position.
Let's see if the Diamondbacks want to take a look at this one. That's a big lead, a good jump, and Castillo's throw high. If he gets it on the bag, it's going to be an out. It looks like he was in there. Pretty close.
Too close to challenge, in the opinion of the Diamondbacks. Manager Chip Hale. So that's another stolen base for Braun. He's been caught just 1 time. 15 successful attempts. Mentioned De La Rosa, part of that trade 3 years ago. He was with the Dodgers when they sent him to the Red Sox. He was that Adrian Gonzalez, Josh Beckett, Carl Crawford deal. And in 13 was with the Red Sox, appeared in 11 games but was not on the postseason roster. Boston went on to win the World Series. Started 18 times for Boston a year ago and was 4-8.
This is some experience on a relatively inexperienced starting rotation. You had Patrick Corbin, the former All-Star, out there last night. He pitched a dandy, but he was able to pick up a victory. The man at second base, they can't really shift with their shortstop. You got to hold BRAUN on relatively close.
3-1 pitch. Count runs full to Lind. 16 homers, 58 RBIs for the Brewers first baseman. Looking for his first hit in this series. Brewers come in 11 under 500. Diamondbacks 7 under. They're 7.5 behind in the wild card race, Arizona. Brewers continue to fight their way back.
Man, they were 21 games under 500 at one point. They have had to play some very good baseball to get to within 11 games of 500.
Great road trip, Philadelphia and Cincinnati. It's a two-city swing here. Phoenix and then on to San Francisco. As Lynn pops one up, and this will be in play, and it will be a foul ball, as not able to get it was Jake Lamb, the third baseman.
Wow.
As a gift for Adam Lind, he gets another opportunity.
That's not a difficult play. He just overruns it. He realizes that he's not in a good spot and never gets a glove on it. You got to believe that's an error. It could go either way, a no play or an error. But that's a play that the third baseman's got to be able to make.
And they will rule it an error. They're charged to Lamb. Another opportunity for Adam Lind. Count is full. BRAUN the runner at second. And De La Rosa, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, takes care of Adam Lind. We are underway in Phoenix. No score. Travel well, and many of them here in Arizona, part of this road trip, as the Diamondbacks get their first crack tonight at the plate. Chip Hale's first year as the Diamondbacks manager. It's an improving club. Remember, they lost 98 times a year ago. Trying to get into the playoff chase, work to do, but taking a step in the right direction. Here's the batting order presented by Potawatomi. Ender Inciarte, A.J. Pollock, and Paul Goldschmidt. 1, 2, 3. David Peralta hits cleanup, followed by Wellington Castillo and Jake Lamb. Chris Owings, Cliff Pennington, and Ruby De La Rosa round out the Diamondbacks batting order against big right-hander Taylor Youngman.
Yeah, one of the biggest surprises in all of baseball right now. Taylor Youngman, first 8 starts have been terrific. He threw a complete game at Dodger Stadium against the Dodgers on the last road trip. A 2.04 earned run average. He passed a big test his last time out, facing the Pirates for the second time, and was very good. Gave up only 1 run in 7 innings.
Ender INCIARTE will lead things off. INCIARTE, Pollock, and Goldschmidt in the home half of the first. And Youngman starts him out with a strike on a fastball. INCIARTE having himself a nice start to this series. Hitting .299 on the season.
A tough out. He doesn't try and pull the ball too much. Not a power hitter, but stays on it. Gets on top of the baseball. He's got some speed.
A young ball club. For the most part, certainly. And outfield, a couple of outfields here tonight. The outfielders who can cover some ground. And there's INCIARTE with another base hit down the line and left, and that's going to be a double to begin the bottom of the first.
That's what we're talking about with INCIARTE. Hits it where it's pitched, just slaps it, tries to get on top of it, right inside the third baseline. So a good start to the night for the Diamondbacks. 16th double of the year for INCIARTE. Pulls the hands in, and inside-out stroke down the left field line.
So that's how the bottom half of the first begins for Arizona. Here's A.J. Pollock. Comes in hitting .307. There's a little bit of pop as well with 11 home runs. Had a hit in 4 trips last night. Diamondbacks got the bats going on Thursday night. Struck out a ton, but scored 8 runs. Last night was more of a pitcher's duel. Patrick Corbin and Jimmy Nelson.
Jimmy Nelson a winner again. Taking his record at 3-1 in July. Taylor Youngman 3-0 this month. So the young kids 6-1 combined in the month of July. Good stuff.
Two balls, no strikes to Pollock, the center fielder. It was interesting listening to you and PA talk with Doug Melvin about a variety of things in the last homestand, Rock, but about Youngman. If you look at his numbers in the minors, what the ERA that he had at Colorado Springs, but as Doug Melvin was telling you guys, that you have to look at a lot of things, not just the numbers, not just the raw stats. And clearly Youngman would be an example of that.
Yeah, well, sometimes you just can't explain why a guy has been so good. Good pickoff throw. That's good mound presence by Taylor Youngman. Did the inside move and got INCIARTE, who was trying to steal the bag. That is great heads up mound awareness by Taylor Youngman. Sees him out of the corner of the eye, and he's an easy out. A good poise for a young starting pitcher. And they get the out at second base.
Veteran move, if you will, by Youngman. Base is empty, 2-1 the count to Pollock.
And he made the adjustment as he saw INCIARTE take off. He had no intention of doing that until he saw the runner going to third base. INCIARTE took off a little bit too soon, was aware of it, and was able to pick him off.
3-1 pitch, and Pollock is on.
Well, let's check out the Brewers Menards defense. 3 double plays in last night's ball game. Brings their season total to 98 double plays. That's 3rd best in the National League. They have been turning a ton of double plays, largely because their starting rotation has been getting a lot of ground ball out. Hernan Perez has started all 3 games of this series so far with the trade of Aramis Ramirez.
Paul Goldschmidt. He has given pretty much everybody fits. Certainly that's been the case with the Brewers, although he's been walked. No one has been walked more than Goldschmidt, 77 times coming into this game. He's 11 for 18 this year so far against the Brewers. They have just had a world of trouble getting them out.
Yep, 2 hits in the series, has been walked a bunch. If you're in a position to be able to pitch around them, the Brewers have done it. And those numbers speak for themselves. What more do you need to hear about Paul Goldschmidt?
As good as those numbers are, his first inning at bats are even better. Average just a shade under 400. It was interesting in last night's game. Arizona maybe did the Brewers a favor. They had runners at first and second. Executed a double steal that opened up first. Brewers went ahead and intentionally walked Goldschmidt. They got a 1-2-3 double play. It's a team that loves to run.
You got to pick your spots. You can't take the bat out of Goldschmidt's hands like that.
Keep an eye on Pollock. He has 21 steals. Only the Reds have more stolen bases in the National League than Arizona. The Diamondbacks distribute it much better. You look at Cincinnati's stolen base total, and obviously that's Billy Hamilton's show far and away above anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a running ball club except for him. But this Diamondback club is much different. I mean, they have some guys that will take off on you. And that's a distraction in itself, particularly for a young starter. We'll see how Youngman handles that in this start. Trying to keep those guys close, but yet focusing in on the hitter.
Pollock with 21 steals so far as Goldschmidt sends one to right field. Back goes Braun, and that's off the base of the fence. Pollock runs well, turning third. They'll wave him around, and the throw home is not in time. Goldschmidt to third. Arizona grabs the early lead.
Hey, the guy can hit. He didn't even get all that. It sounded like he got it down on the trademark a little bit. Still carried it over the head of Ryan Braun. Check it out. Actually down on the end just a touch. Pretty close play. But it looks like Pollock was able to beat it. That was good base running by Pollock. He took off right away. Knew it was going to be over the head of Braun. And good tag by Lucroy, but a little bit late.
Double and an RBI for Goldschmidt. Goes to third on the throw to the plate. RBI number 74. The big first baseman. Now the cleanup hitter, David Peralta. Infield in, he fouls out of play. Mentioned in each of Youngman's last 3 starts, giving up a total of 3 runs. One of the Reds, one of the Dodgers in that complete game effort, and one of the Pirates a week ago Friday.
And 3 runs allowed and only 12 hits in those 3 starts. That's how good he's been. Having a rough start to this one tonight.
Two strikes or nothing to Peralta. Goldschmidt off the bag at third. Lucroy does what he does so well. Wants to pitch in the dirt.
Literally smothering it, just trying to jump on it. Keep it close, the way he's able to bend that waist, and the ball goes straight down when it hits his chest protector. Very quick on those feet.
D-backs with a run across, 1-2 the count to Peralta. Started his pro career as a pitcher in the Cardinals organization. Pretty well documented story by now. Certainly people in Arizona know about it. More and more people across, baseball fans across the country. It's with the Cardinals organization. And that is strike 3 called.
Yeah, right down the middle, right at the knees. Looks like Alan Porter is giving a low strike tonight. And we did not see that from Paul Schreiber in last night's ball game. Called one down there on Goldschmidt, and that one borderline at the knees, and he rings it up.
2 men out of the first. Now Youngman will square off against Wellington Castillo. The well-traveled this season, Wellington Castillo. And a year as a Cub, May 19th, traded to Seattle. A couple of weeks later, came to the Diamondbacks, part of that Mark Trumbo swap.
The Diamondbacks lost their catcher, Tuffy Go-Switch, one of the best names in all of baseball.
That's right.
He was off to a good start. Terrific catcher. Just swinging the bat. And now it's going to be Wellington Castillo. We saw Oscar Hernandez the first 2 games of the series.
Diamondbacks have been a increasingly strikeout prone team. They punched out 51 times in the last 4+ games. They've been much better in that area to start the season. As a couple of their players pointed out, for instance, on Thursday night they had 16 punch-outs, but they scored 8 runs. They took that trade. The 1-1. Youngman battling back, giving up a run in the first. Walk to Pollock and a run-scoring double off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt.
Diamondbacks aren't too happy with this strike zone tonight. Taylor Youngman likes it.
Here comes the 1-2. Bounced a curveball. Busy first inning here for Taylor Youngman. That was pitch 21. Nelson had a busy first, got out of it without allowing a run. That 3rd inning threat, and other than that, he was terrific. Yes, it was terrific anyway. Francisco Rodriguez coming in and nailing down his 22nd save and as many chances.
Castillo was the final out last night. He hit a rocket to Segura, made a great backhand play to end the game.
2-2 pitch, and that hit him.
Did it hit him or the bat?
I'll say it hit him. Chip Hale out there, athletic trainer as well.
Last thing the Diamondbacks need is to lose another catcher. Yeah, that didn't even close. It hit him on the back of the elbow. Taylor Youngman after it as though he thought it hit the bat. That is the 6th batter that Youngman has hit this year in 8+ starts. Well, he's not afraid to come inside. That one got away from him.
Good pitching coach Rick Kranitz out there as the Diamondbacks have runners the corners.
Yeah, Youngman has 6 hit batters. Jimmy Nelson has hit 9. Young pitchers trying to learn how to pitch inside. Sometimes one will get away.
We continue to check on Castillo, who will be okay and stay in the game. All right, this Castillo here because of that torn ACL suffered by Go-Switch. So they hold their breath here. They actually had a hold your breath moment in the series against the Marlins when David Peralta got hit in the helmet. He's out of the lineup Thursday, back in there last night. Here's Jake Lamb, the 3rd baseman. Lamb hit this in 4 trips last night. D-backs with a run here in the first. Taylor Youngman needing a lot of pitches to get out of it.
Missing down in the strike zone. That's where you want to miss, but falling behind 2-0. This seems a little bit out of rhythm tonight so far.
Carry into the seats. Lamb won the job at third when the Diamondbacks signed Yasmani Tomas to that 6-year contract. A lot of folks, I think, assumed that Tomas would be the third baseman to begin the year. But Lamb got the job out of spring training. Tomas, when he's in the lineup, you'll often see him in the outfield. He was not in the lineup here tonight. Fastball misses.
And Tomas with big power hit a home run first game of the series. That's Thursday night.
Three and one to count the Lamb as Taylor Youngman for the first time as a Brewer has surrendered a first inning run, and he's going to give up another as Lamb singles to left. That will score Goldschmidt. 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Yeah, getting behind the count, and then he had to come down the middle to Jake Lamb, who put a good swing on it. A two-seam fastball, and that's the way Lamb goes down and gets it and slices it into left field. So 3 hits already, a walk, a hit batter, and Youngman finds himself down 2-0.
It's an Arizona team that can hit, third best in the National League in terms of batting average. Chris Owings, second baseman, steps in. Curve is in there for strike one. Owings, good defensive player. You see the low batting average, but he's had a couple of hits here in this series. A triple was last night in the 9th inning. He scored the only run of the game for Arizona. Castillo the runner at second. Jake Lamb at first. Here's the 0-2. Missed on a curve.
Yeah, 30 pitches for Taylor Youngman. Remember, Jimmy Nelson threw 31 pitches in the first inning in last night's ball game. Ended up going 7.
Here comes the 1-2. Fastball in. Diamondbacks fans are going to be jumpy. Maybe the Diamondbacks themselves. The Peralta story earlier in the week when he was hit. They've been involved in some back and forth with a few teams last couple of years. Arizona.
Yeah, they're already fired up, these fans. They got the big unit bobblehead today. Randy Johnson going into the Hall of Fame.
One of 3 pitchers being inducted this weekend, along with Craig Biggio, Astro. He's going in as a Diamondback. Great years here, helping this team to the World Series title in 2001. Winning pitcher in Game 6 and 7, coming on in relief against the Yankees. Payoff pitch. Got him swinging. A couple of strikeouts here in the first, but a couple of runs allowed, and we are through 1 with the Diamondbacks leading 2-0. First time Youngman has allowed any first inning runs. So that's our score as we move to the top half of the second here at Chase Field. Time now for tonight's Carsoup.com trivia question. Who was the last Brewer to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame? Last Brewers player to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Carlos Gomez will lead off in the second. So 4 players inducted will be inducted tomorrow, and that's the biggest player contingent as voted on by the baseball writers in forever.
And John Smoltz, Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, Craig Biggio. They all deserve it.
There's that class. Of course, around here, they very excited about Randy Johnson. They'll honor him here on August 8th. Bobblehead night tonight. Big crowd here.
The biggest crowd of the series by far tonight.
.108 degrees outside, so they come on into the climate-controlled Chase Field. Gomez draws a 4-pitch walk here to start the second for Milwaukee.
Turn the air conditioner up at home, come to Chase Field. And of course, I don't think you're going to be saving much money, buying tickets, parking, concessions.
True.
You might be down a little bit, but you'll have a good time here.
Time at the park and watching a Arizona team that is probably a tweener if you're trying to determine whether it's a playoff contender. They're under 500. They're 7.5 out of the wild card chase. And again, a team that lost 98 games a year ago. Changed things around here a little bit, made some moves from the top on down.
You never know what can happen. I mean, even teams that are under 500 right now feel as though they have a shot. And we were going through it today, right? I mean, there's 17 teams, 16 or 17, that right now in baseball that are under 500. And some of them have a shot.
Yeah, they do, and that's what makes this trade deadline, the days leading up to it, so interesting. And you hear it all the time, but maybe even more so now with that second wild card team in baseball. You have teams that are still determining, all right, are we going to be a buyer? Are we going to be a seller?
National League Central Division, the only division that has 3 teams over 500.
Cardinals, Pirates, and of course the Cubs. Not a tough day for the Cubs today, though. Baseball. No.
Good day for the Phillies.
Cole Hamels. He allowed 2 walks. He walked Dexter Fowler twice. But a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the trade deadline and those who are speculated to be moving, Hamels certainly one of those. 1-1 the count to Scooter Gennett.
Been a while since the Cubs were no hit, right? Went back in the 50s or something.
At mid-60s, I think. Sandy Koufax. 1965.
Yeah.
50 years ago.
That's right. It was 50 years, not the 50s. I knew I heard 50 somewhere. Close.
The 1-1. Gennett fouls it off. Scooter had a pinch hit roll last night. Grounded out, but allowed Gerardo Parra to move to third, and he scored on a wild pitch. So we talk about the pinch hitting roles. Sometimes you have productive outs. Scooter, quite a bit talked about his performance at the plate since coming back up. Colorado Springs, hitting .327. He's rejoining the big club on June 11th.
Yeah, a case where a guy going down to the minor leagues helped him out. He worked hard. He had a good attitude about it. And, we've talked about it a number of times. And Scooter's been a much better player since his return. Yeah, both defensively and at the plate.
Ruby De La Rosa ready with a 1-2 pitch. Down goes Jeanette. Tip into the mid of Wellington Castillo for out number 1.
Yeah, a lot of off-speed stuff. The slider, the changeup's good, but he can reach back and give you mid-90s. If he gets it up around the belt, it's going to be tough to get a piece of.
One out here in the second. Gene Segura. Rock mentioned he made a terrific defensive play, did Segura, to end the game last night and secure the save for Francisco Rodriguez.
And first run allowed by K-Rod in a save situation this year.
Craig Counsell quipped to reporters, and I guess that's a big news story. He had a little cushion. He was getting that big run on the top of the ninth to make it a 2-0 game. Keep an eye on Gomez, who has 7 stolen bases coming into the game.
And the caught stealing for Castillo in the first inning. Got par of the first one he's thrown out this year.
Oh, 0-1 the count to the Brewers shortstop. And a chance for 2 here. 6-4, and not in time. And coming off the bag, it looked like 2 was Goldschmidt. So Segura is on. 2 men out.
And pulling the foot, an old trick that the first baseman used to try and get that call. He can't do that these days, not with replay. Those old wily veterans, those things that they used to do at first base, don't fly anymore when you can take another look at it. And Segura gets down that line in good shape and pretty close at first base.
They will play on. So Segura, the runner at first, with 2 men out for Hernan Perez. In there, of course, at third base, with the Brewers making that Ramos Ramirez trade a couple of days ago. Ramirez, by the way, has joined the Pirates in the lineup tonight, hitting cleanup. Pittsburgh playing the Nationals at PNC. Washington leading 5-0 in the 6th. A chance for Ramirez to go back where his big league career started, and an opportunity for Hernan Perez to continue to show what he can do for the Brewers, taking advantage of the opportunity, one that he really didn't have a lot of.
Yeah, good move for the Brewers. I mean, you get Ramos in a pennant race, and you give an opportunity for a young kid that you have to keep on the roster anyway, see what he can do at third.
Fastball is inside. De La Rosa just missing inducing a double play ground ball. He had 4 of them. His last start against the Marlins. Show that consistency for manager Chip Hale. Hard thrower. Runner on the move, and the throw down to second, and Segura has the base stolen. So the Brewers continuing to try to run, and successfully so for the second time tonight.
And Castillo now 1 for 11 with 3 attempts today, 2 successful stolen bases. Braun got 1. Now Segura, number 15 for him. And see the high leg kick by De La Rosa, and I think that the Brewers are running more on the catcher than they are De La Rosa.
Yeah, go switch throughout 37% before he had
Pretty
his
good.
ACL. Yeah. 2-0 the count to Perez. Diamondbacks with the team with the running reputation, but the Brewers are trying to push the pace a little bit here in the early going tonight. comes the 2-0. Parra was caught stealing in the first. Ryan Braun was able to get himself a stolen base later in the inning, but was left stranded at second. Adam Lynn strikeout, and then Segura gets the stolen base here in the second. Taking all the way is Perez. It's his 21st start, the 8th start for him at third for the Crew. That's where he's going to be for the time being.
As long as he continues to play well, get some hits. Changeup on a 3-1 pitch.
And the count is full. Mentioned De La Rosa has been good. The record has been good at home, 5-1. The ERA a little up there at 4.65. And there's a ground ball to second. Chris Owings will handle it. And the Brewers strand another runner in scoring position. Through an inning and a half, it's 2-0 Arizona.
Inning after surrendering 2 runs in the bottom of the first. On other pitching news, Craig Counsell before today's game announced that Willie Peralta, who has been on the disabled list for nearly 2 months, will make the start in San Francisco on Tuesday. Willie has been with the team this entire series, and leading up until today, many did not know when Willie would pitch again, but for the time being, the Brewers will go with a 6-man rotation, and Willie Peralta will get the start in San Francisco on Tuesday. Matt.
All right, Telly, thank you very much. We move to the bottom of the second, 8-9-1 in the order for the Diamondbacks. Cliff Pennington leading things off, and you're looking at Shane Peterson now, who is in the game at first, replacing Adam Lynn.
Interesting. Not sure what's going on with Lynn, whether it's an injury we're not aware of. But you have the trading deadline. You know, if a player gets traded, they're going to pull him right out of the lineup. Not to say that that's the case, but trying to figure out perhaps why Adam Lynn might be taken out of the game.
It's always a busy first inning for Taylor Youngman, a 33-pitch frame. Facing Cliff Pennington to lead off the second. Back to Telly's point, what Craig Counsell was talking about before the game with the 6-man rotation, at least for a turn. And I know Rock, you and BA talked about it here earlier in this series. This is a busy stretch here. The Brewers don't have an off day for a while, August 10th.
Right.
So, chance to.
I don't see a 6-man rotation continuing very long.
No.
I mean, maybe one time. It's never a bad idea, perhaps, to give your starters maybe that extra day. So Willie will start on Tuesday. It's going to be Kyle Loesch on Monday. And then after that, we'll see what happens. Brewers are going to have a decision to make.
All the speculation across baseball as we approach July 31st. Last year there was a flurry of activity. It was really busy those last 24 hours. The last several hours leading up to the deadline. We'll see what the Brewers do. We'll see what else happens across baseball. But it's a time where everybody has a hope. Everybody has a thought on who might go where. Obviously, Gerardo Parra's name coming up a lot.
Yeah, if you're the Brewers and you're a player on this team, I mean, everybody is a potential trade option at this point, the way the Brewers have gone. Carlos Gomez, there's been a lot of interest in him. I'm sure some of the young pitchers for the Brewers, a bunch of their guys in the bullpen who have been very good. I'm sure there's interest out there. You never know.
For the baseball fan, it makes it fun, but you just and players, you sign up for it. That's when you make the big bucks. But still, it's I would think, you tell me, when you come to the ballpark, you're focused on winning the game that night. But in the downtime,
yeah,
pretty hard not to think about it, isn't it?
Hey, you're on the phone. You're talking to your agent. You're wondering what's going on out there. The agents seem to have a pretty good understanding what's going on, who's talking to who about what player. But it's an opportunity if you're a Brewer player right now. You get traded, you probably jump right into a pennant race. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's what a lot of, or at least some of these guys were saying, and maybe all of them were thinking about that with Ramos Ramirez, a guy who's in his final year. Chance to jump into a playoff chase. And strike 3 called to Ender Inciarte. So back-to-back strikeouts for Taylor Youngman. That's more like it. 2-0 Arizona. We talked about it. Now we'll show you some of the highlights of no-no at Wrigley Field today. Cole Hamels, and this is the final out of the game.
Oh, baby.
Rubel Herrera. Oh, my.
Routine. Boy. That would have been an interesting official scoring decision had he dropped that baseball or didn't catch it. And here are the Brewer players. Scooter Gennett, John Shelby, and Adam Lind. Everybody likes to watch a no-hitter when it happens to somebody else.
Exactly right. Taylor Youngman leading off the top of the third. Cole Hamels in that game had 13 strikeouts. He walked 2. Dexter Fowler twice. 129 pitches. De La Rosa feeding Youngman a fastball. First time that the Cubs have been no hit in 50 years. Cole Hamels, Sandy Koufax.
Two pretty good lefties.
Yeah, not bad. And Youngman with a base hit.
Yeah, how about that? Taking that one to the opposite field, looking like he knows what he's doing. Except for running through the bag, of course.
Saw that with Jimmy Nelson last year, didn't we?
Just wanted to make sure, the right fielder is going to be in a lot with a pitcher up. And you can see, I think, Youngman's thinking, he might make a throw in here. He does, but he beats it by plenty. Good thing he didn't make a turn, actually.
Yeah, that would have been a bad idea, a left turn there. Made the highlights for the wrong reason. A leadoff single here in the third, and now Gerardo Parra. He began the game by striking out, but reached on a pass ball. Got away for Wellington Castillo, and Parra was able to reach, but he was cut down trying to steal second. And first pitch swing and a base hit for Parra. He continues to swing the bat well.
And first pitch, a fastball up and gets on top of it. He covers up and down very well, in and out. Handles the inside fastball. He can handle away, take it to left field. He just locked in right now.
That extends his hitting streak to 9 games. Just does everything well.
He's a baseball player is what he is. I mean, doesn't make mistakes. He's got a terrific throwing arm. He's got good instincts on the bases. Talking to his old buddy over there at first base.
Parra got a nice reception here on Thursday. Announced him to the crowd. He and Craig Counsell got very nice ovations. They deserve it. There's Jonathan Lucroy. Back-to-back singles here for Milwaukee in the third. Lucroy grounded to Chris Owings in the first inning. De La Rosa, a deliberate worker, to say the least. And now with runners on, maybe even more so.
That's very kind.
That is very kind.
To say it that way.
Been way too long. He's really slow.
Yeah, he's snail's pace. No hurry to get rid of the baseball. He would be pushing that 20-second time clock.
He would. Pace of play, not a big concern for him. A ball, a strike. Jonathan Lucroy. Fastball at 97.
A comeback sinker at 97 miles an hour. This guy has some pretty good stuff. Just a matter of being able to harness it. Sometimes he gets a little bit too much of the plate, like he did to Taylor Youngman with 2 strikes.
One and 2 the count. Brewers with a threat here in inning number 3. Bouncing ball to short. There's one. And there's 2. 6-4-3 double play. Youngman moves to third.
And that's what he does as well as anybody. De La Rosa getting the ground balls and getting double plays. 15th time he's rolled a double play ball. Lucroy trying his best to get down that line. But he's not able to get there in time. That was a double play. There'll be no replay on that.
About half a step. The double play ball, which helped Ruby De La Rosa a lot in his last start, helps him here. Not out of the inning yet, though. He has to deal with Ryan Braun, who has homered in each of the first 2 games of this series. Speaking of that power, here's what Braun did on Thursday night, and a very quiet night for the most part until this 3-run shot. Powerball home run count. Braun with home runs number 17, and there's number 18 as he went the other way. Opened up the scoring in the 6th inning in last night's game.
Yeah, fastball to right, curveball to left. He's got a shot at 100 RBIs this year at 61.
6-time All-Star, tripled in the Midsummer Classic in Cincinnati. Two and one the count. A couple of struggles early, a few struggles you could say, but got things squared away and is putting together a very nice year. Youngman, the runner at third with 2 outs. And the count evens 2-2.
That's a good pitch. Back-to-back pitches right on the outside corner. And able to keep them both down. And Braun likes it out there, but he likes it up in the zone.
Let's see what he feeds him now at 2-2. Change up, or let's see what he does. Here it comes. And that caught the corner. Gas. And Braun didn't think so. Strike 3 called, a threat by the boards. Through 2.5, 2-0 D-backs.
Next weekend is the Brewers and the Chicago Cubs as they square off in a 4-game series at Miller Park. Thursday, July 30th through Sunday, August 2nd. Call 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com to reserve your spot today.
Cubs, one of those teams, people wonder what, if any, kind of move or moves they will make. to the bottom half of the third. Taylor Youngman gave up a couple in the home half of the first, but popped through the Diamondbacks in order in the second. A ground ball from Cliff Pennington and back-to-back strikeouts. His counterpart Ruby De La Rosa and then enter INCIARTE. So 2, 3, and 4 hitters here for Arizona. Pollock walked and scored in the first. Mentioned he's putting together a very nice year. 307 average. Among the National League leaders in hits. As a matter of fact, leads all outfielders in hits with 112.
Yeah, 2-3 hitters in this lineup have been very productive. Yeah, he and Goldschmidt providing most of the offense for this club. Most of the power anyway.
First baseman on deck. 1-1. Hit in the air, center field. Left center field. And it'll be Gomez for out number 1. That old line, when you face Goldschmidt, you want to face him with the bases empty, and that's what Youngman will be able to do after retiring Pollock. It's not the case in the first, as you see. Three-time All-Star now, Paul Goldschmidt.
He's one of those guys, even in this situation, if you walk him, so what? I mean, at least you know he's not going to hit you out of the ballpark. Got a good eye at the plate, walks a lot, and he could steal some bases. He's got 21 stolen bases. Actually, 17 stolen bases for Goldschmidt. Yeah, he's the total package, this guy.
Yeah, it really is. In 2012, he stole 18 bases, was caught just 3 times. And then the following year is when he really went off with 36 homers, 125 RBIs to lead the National League in both categories. Youngman with a 2-1. I suppose it's been talked about enough with Goldschmidt. We've all, I think, talked about how he's underrated, and we're at the point where we've said it enough where maybe he isn't underrated anymore. People, obviously, scouting reports, opposing teams know how good he is, but a 3-time All-Star. Just a terrific player, and Youngman, as you would imagine, being very careful, and Goldschmidt is on with a walk.
Yeah, being out here on the West Coast kind of hurts him in that regard with that, that recognition. If he was in New York, you can imagine the kind of stuff he'd be involved in.
Absolutely. You're right. He played late at night. He had his final 3 months or 2 months of the season wiped out when he was hit by a pitch last August 1st. He was on with his 78th walk, and a pickoff attempt gets past Shane Peterson, and Goldschmidt moves on to second.
He's got the quick feed, and there's one that Peterson's got to be able to handle. Not sure how much first base he's played in his career, even in the minor leagues, but he's over there tonight filling in for Adam Lind.
Came in last inning. Peterson charged with the error. So a runner in scoring position with 1 out for David Peralta.
I don't recall Peterson playing first base in spring training.
A couple of starts with the A's 2 years ago, but that's it. That's his only big league experience, period. He started a couple of games at first in mid-April as an A against Houston. Very limited, to say the least, as Peralta goes the other way. A liner to left that is handled by Parra. Peterson backing up as the throw goes through, and there are 2 men out.
And diving deeper into Shane Peterson, he was actually a first baseman in the minor leagues. Moved to the outfield. Been playing there predominantly down in the minor leagues for the Brewers, the A's. So he is very familiar with first base. In the minor leagues, anyway.
138 games in the minors. And what's that call off the bench early tonight in place of Adam Lind? Wellington Castillo, the hitter. He was hit by a pitch in the first. Curveball misses.
Porter likes that low strike, and that's important for Taylor Youngman. He likes to pound the bottom half of the strike zone. He's getting that call tonight.
1-1 the count. Castillo, of course, became expendable in Chicago. And David Ross brought Miguel Montero over. Moved him on May 19th from Chicago to Seattle. And then on June 3rd, he comes to Arizona. A ball, 2 strikes. Curveball ends the inning. Gets him swinging. So a threat, but nothing more. And we are at 2-3, 2-0 Arizona. Here at Chase Field. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag #WithDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Shane Peterson, Carlos Gomez, and Scooter Gennett in the 4th inning for Milwaukee.
I was amazed at how quickly our guys down in the production truck were all over how many games at first base Shane Peterson had in the minor leagues. I mean, how do you find that stuff?
That's some serious work.
I mean, that's where all the work is being done, down in that production truck. Wow. Digging deep.
So little glory, so much hard work, right, involved.
So important, you get no credit. Of course, we just gave him some credit.
We did. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
We talked about Peterson in the Brewers Live pregame, his work as a pinch hitter. How productive he has been, to the tune of 6 for 14. One-two pitch. He swings and does not get it. Strikeout number 5 for Ruby De La Rosa.
He's throwing pitches. I mean, either fastballs, kind of BP fastballs, changeups, in a wide range of speeds, almost 10 miles an hour. 93 miles an hour, 91, 97 miles an hour. He's throwing changeups at 83. There it is right there. That's a lot of speed differential to cover when you're talking about a straight pitch. We're not even talking a curveball or a slider. It's pretty good stuff.
It's a lot to deal with.
I mean, that's hard to pick up for a hitter.
Carlos Gomez walked in the second inning, and there is a ground ball and a diving stop. Jake Lamb, well played.
Good defense here in Arizona. It's been that way all year. And a very good play by Jake Lamb over there at third base. Able to get back. He was playing for the bunt, then scooted back. That's why he was able to get to it. He backpedals, and that's what allowed him to make that diving play in the hole. And gets Carlos Gomez easily.
And recognized by his pitcher. You're right, this Arizona team seconds in the league in fielding percentage. They hit well, they field well. Pitching has been choppy. Scooter Gennett, the hitter, he struck out in the second inning. He's trying to get a read here on De La Rosa. They faced him just the one time this season, May 29th at Miller Park, and he was not. It was not a night where he had his best stuff, but his offense helped him out. They went on to win 7-5. Two strikes and nothing to Gennett.
I mentioned with his win last time out that he broke a 4-game losing streak. It was actually, 4 games that the Diamondbacks had lost with him on the mound. He had a 2-game losing streak. The Diamondbacks had lost his last 4. He pitched a dandy against the Marlins last time out.
2-strike pitch. I have the word now regarding Adam Lind. Low back tightness. Why he is out and why Shane Peterson is in. Low back tightness. Word from the Brewers regarding Adam Lind.
And that was the issue that he had with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Ground ball to Cliff Pennington. And it's a 1-2-3 fourth inning for Ruby De La Rosa. The score remains 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Tonight's time of the game winner. That place on 8th in Sheboygan if they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. They get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Now that's a refrigerator.
That is a good-looking refrigerator right there.
Forget about the vegetables and the meat. Mayonnaise, that's all you need.
Covers the food groups. We're good. Jake Lamb.
Do you have a beer refrigerator at your house?
Do I now? No. Have I before? Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good for you. I did have and always will.
Good for you. So you don't grow out of it, so I can do it and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, well.
All right, I'm in.
There are drawbacks.
I understand.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty. Strictly decorative purposes. Jake Lamb turned in quite a defensive play here already tonight after misplaying a foul pop in the first inning. He's flashing the glove as well. 2-1 pitch. And showing the bat as well with a base hit to center.
And that was a good pitch by Taylor Youngman. Wow, that ball almost on the dirt. Took a little off, and Lamb went down and got it right off the end of the bat and into center field. Dave McKay at first base, the first base coach. Boy, he's been at it a long time. Tony La Russa for many years. He was with the Cubs. And Tony La Russa now back with the Diamondbacks, and Dave McKay back at first base.
Trying to get some things turned around with his franchise. Chris Owings. Nice stop by Luke.
Kind of a nice gig for Dave McKay. He lives in Arizona.
Nice and convenient.
Working here at home. He was Dale Swaim's first base coach over in Chicago.
.1-0 coming to Chris Owings. It's upstairs. Let's get more on Adam Lind. We check in with Telly Hughes.
It's ball game in the bottom of the second inning with apparent lower back tightness. That's the diagnosis and the word from the clubhouse. Low back tightness for Adam Lind. As you see, he grimaced on that last swing that he took in his one and only at bat here tonight.
It's kind of unusual that normally when he has his back issues, it doesn't bother him to swing. It's running and fielding his position, so the Brewers are going to have to keep a close eye on that.
A major part of this offense, to say the least, for the Brewers. Let's see how that unfolds in the coming days. There's a double play ball. Segura to Jeanette to Peterson. There are two men out here in the fourth.
Yet another double play. Number 99 turned by the Brewers. They have been racking them up as of late.
Goodman was helped out in his last outing by the double play ball. Two men out, bases empty here in the fourth. Cliff Pennington. Youngman settling down. You see that pitch count. Half of that total came in the first inning.
Yeah, same thing that happened to Jimmy Nelson last night, although Jimmy did not allow a run in the first. High pitch count, able to right the ship the rest of the way.
That was good. A young talent on this Brewers staff.
Jimmy Nelson now 8-9. He's only had 3 no decisions this year.
Willie Peralta coming back into the fold. He'll pitch on Tuesday in San Francisco.
And Jimmy 8-9 with a .397 earned run average. Taylor Youngman 5-1, 2.04 coming in.
Three and one the count to Cliff Pennington. It's very encouraging for this team moving forward. See some of this productivity from the younger starters in the rotation.
Man, we're not even talking about Willie Peralta, are we? He's been on the disabled list. He's young, 17-game winner last year, so yeah, a lot to be encouraged about with this starting rotation.
Bullpen has been very good as well, much better as this season has gone along. Full count now as Youngman has battled back. Trying to end the inning right here. And we'll need another pitch. Game 3 of 4. Two-backs an 8-3 winner Thursday night. Crew slipped by him last night 2-1. Spotted Arizona the early 2-0 lead. The runs coming into first for the Diamondbacks. First time that Youngman has allowed runs in the first inning. And again the payoff. Chance for Segura. Quiet inning for Arizona. We are 3-4 at Chase Field. Still 2-0 the Diamondbacks. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Brewers trying to get something going. Some of the Brewer fans here at Chase Field. 2-0 Arizona. As we move to the top of the fifth, it'll be 7, 8, and 9 in the order as Gene Segura will get things started. It'll be De La Rosa. He's given up just the 3 hits. Both teams have stranded 3. We talked about the pitch speed range for De La Rosa. Anywhere from 83 to 98.
You know what makes that so difficult for a hitter is, when they're change-ups and mid-fastball, kind of BP fastballs, and then the big velocity is the fact that the spin's the same on all those velocities. If you're throwing breaking pitches, sliders come out of your hand a little bit different. You can recognize those. It's not the speed so much, that fools you so much. You can see that dot on the breaking pitch, and you know it's coming. But when you're throwing that much of a difference with just straight, you know, the big fastball, the changeup, and in between, that makes it very difficult to pick up. You speed that bat up with the big fastball, then he slows it down with that changeup.
He's ahead of Segura. Ball, 2 strikes. Comebacker. And that's out number 1. Fox Sports Wisconsin's giving away great prizes during every Brewers broadcast in July. Prizes include Brewers merchandise, Miller Park tours, autographed merchandise, and more. Here's tonight's Watch 'em and Win sweepstakes image. Log on to foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the Watch 'em and Win banner on the homepage to enter. We got a winner tonight. Tune in again tomorrow for another chance to win. Hernan Perez. Down to the second in inning number 2. Talk about that changeup that De La Rosa has, and credits Pedro Martinez, the Hall of Famer.
Had a pretty good one.
That. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Really good advice. Get it from a Hall of Famer.
Is that low strike? Hitters on both teams having a difficult time with Alan Porter's strike zone. Pitchers love it.
Perez down 2 strikes and nothing. Perez came in .329. Batting average. Extremely productive. Here comes the 1-2. Getting that chance. Trying to make himself into another good story for this Brewers club as we move on here in the second half of the season.
Craig Counsell feels as though third base is his best position. That's why he's going to be getting a lot of opportunities over there.
There's a chance for Cliff Pennington, and a wide throw, and Goldschmidt unable to apply the tag. Perez is on.
The second error committed by the Diamondbacks.
Looked routine enough. Pennington misfires on the throw.
Yeah, sidearm throw and takes Goldschmidt off the bag. That was pretty close on the tag. Not sure if he got him on the back, but it doesn't look like the Diamondbacks are going to ask for a replay. Brewers still have not hit a fly ball for an out. It's been all ground balls. Let's see, does Goldschmidt get him? Close. I guess the Diamondbacks figure it's too close to overturn.
So an error charge to Pennington. Now here's Taylor Youngman. Chance to move the runner up, and he lays one down. De La Rosa flipped to the covering Chris Owings. There are 2 men out.
He's been impressive, you know. I mean, handling the bat, dropping down the bunts, you know, getting a base hit once in a while, and he's done everything the Brewers could have possibly asked of him since coming up. Advancing base runners and pitching like a 10-year veteran.
Really is. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. Back at the top of the order, Gerardo Parra. Singled his last trip and reached on that pass ball. Swing and a miss. Got away from Wellington Castillo. And then with a quick chat with his pitching coach, Rick Kranitz. Perez, the runner at second. RBI chance here for Parra, trying to get the Brewers on the board.
Alan Porter has had a number of discussions already tonight. We're only in the 5th inning.
Yes, he has.
I'm all for it. Open up that zone a little bit.
with 31 RBIs coming into the game. Chance to pick up another here. But he's down 0-2. Couple of gold gloves on the resume of Gerardo Parra. Popular player here when he was with the Diamondbacks. .319 average coming in, 6th in the National League. It's actually nudged up a point here tonight. And hitting close to .350 since April 25th.
About the time he started playing every day.
And let's talk in spring training. We've got 4 spots, or 3 spots, and 4 good outfielders. That was, he was going to get a chance. Obviously, it turned out that way.
Gomez went on the disabled list. Chris Davis spent some time on the DL, and Ryan Braun in and out of the lineup early on. Took advantage of it. That's what it's all about.
Really has. Player of very significant value to this ball club. Bounced off the canvas, if you will, after that bad start.
He's been a great influence in that clubhouse, too. He's a gamer. Not the biggest compliment you can be paid as a player for your peers to call you a gamer.
Slowly hit. That's Jake Lamb in front of Pennington and unable to come up with it. Parra's on. Perez moves to third.
Man, that'll probably be a base hit. I don't think there's any chance Pennington would have been able to throw him out. Not the way that ball was hit. Lamb able to cut it off and not able to make the play. It's going to be an error. Well, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get the out, even if he caught the baseball. That's a tough scoring decision. That's his second error.
Yeah. Made a very good play, a diving stop, but a couple of errors. And the third error tonight for Arizona. Second of the inning. It's the third time this year that Arizona has been guilty of 3 errors. And having said that, this has been a good defensive team this year. So opportunity knocks here for Jonathan Lucroy with runners at the corners and 2 men out. Looking for his first hit tonight, after getting 3 knocks last night. Bouncing ball, Pennington, and the force is at second, and another threat erased here for the Brewers. 2 errors, but the Brewers can do nothing with it. Still down a pair.
Beyond the Diamond is a series of community outreach events that will take place each month during the season, all of which involve partnering with Brewers Community Foundation, players, coaches, Brewer wives, alumni, and team personnel working in the community. The community events will be funded in part by Brewers Community Foundation and focused on the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. Matt?
All right, Telly, thank you very much. Bottom of the fifth here at Chase Field. Pitcher versus pitcher. There was a punch-out victim in the second inning. Diamondbacks getting their runs in the first. And to this point, they have been able to keep the Brewers off the board despite committing 3 errors. 2 in the last inning. Taylor Youngman has surrendered 4 hits. He's walked 2 and has struck out 5. And a roller to Shane Peterson. And feed to Youngman for out number 1.
Hey, Count Garza joins the Brewers all-fan giveaway lineup next Sunday, August 2nd at 1 o'clock as all fans at Miller Park for the Brewers showdown with the Cubs get a Matt Garza Garden Gnome courtesy of Associated Bank. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com.
Garza Gnome.
Count Garza Gnome. He's got the cape. What do they call that hat? Pointy hat? Gnome hat?
Works for me. Pointy hat.
And a glove.
Always good to see the cheddar head there too in the ballpark. Brewer fan there.
Had the keg of beer hat last night. Got the cheese wedge tonight.
Keg hat guy was having a good time. He was enjoying it last night. Don't know how today went for him, but last night was good.
He was having a good time. You're right.
He was. Word everything very carefully.
Yeah, I understand that he showed up at different sporting events when the Milwaukee teams are in town.
I've heard that. Heard the same thing. And they're INCIARTE with a liner to left, but Parra has it tracked and 2 men out here in the 5th.
Yeah, that's the guy right there. You got the Brewers keg hat. And understand when the Bucks are here in Phoenix, he's got the Antlers hat.
So look at that schedule when the Bucks make that trip.
He knows how to get on television.
So does she.
Yeah.
It works almost every time. Curveball to A.J. Pollock. Scored the game's first run as Youngman again feeds him a curve. I do marvel at how well the Brewers travel. Brewer fans.
Yeah.
Some may live out here, but you know, a lot of people flew out here. I came out here commercial on Thursday, and sure enough, there were Brewer fans making a trip to the desert.
A ton of Brewer fans in Arizona in March for spring training. Not bad if you stay inside.
No.
Well, that's the last thing you want to do here.
Yeah, 4-pitch walk to Pollock, and now Goldschmidt comes up.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
Good chat from Jonathan Lucroy over here. You can still be really careful with this guy. You don't often say that leading into the cleanup hitter, but Goldschmidt hits third. And he, as Craig Counsell mentioned here in this series, it was last night, that there are a couple of guys who you can't let them beat you guys. Bryce Harper and then this man, Goldschmidt. Lifts one to right, and this will be a foul ball.
Yep. And you identify those guys, they're obvious. hitters. I mean, everybody knows who those guys are. Goldschmidt won. Every team has one. And the last thing you want to do when you know Goldschmidt's coming up is walk the guy in front of him. There's a lot of pressure on that number 4 hitter, though, in this lineup.
Really is.
Got to get some protection. You got to have a guy in that lineup that's going to be able to clean up the guy on the bases when you pitch around Goldschmidt. Good curveball.
0-2 to Goldschmidt.
It's one of the reasons why I think Ryan Braun's had such a nice season. Adam Lynn behind him. Good solid hitter. Can't pitch around Brawny as much as you'd like. Because if you do, you got another pretty good hitter coming up.
Healthier Ryan Braun as well. And if you're just joining us, talking about Adam Lynn, to come out of the game, second inning with lower back tightness. Shane Peterson playing first, runner goes, pitches a ball. And A.J. Pollock has his 22nd stolen base of the year.
Well, now you have an opportunity to pitch around Goldschmidt again.
Saw this last night.
Yeah, just put him on and go after David Peralta. Pretty good lead. And a terrific jump. He took off before Youngman went toward home plate.
1-2 the count, so you still see if they can end the inning. Be careful, but pitchers count now. It's even at 2-2. Well, last night the Diamondbacks executed a double steal. Brewers, that was on a 2-0, and they ended up going ahead and putting Goldschmidt on.
And he never swings out of the zone, does he?
No, he doesn't. A lot of intentional walks, but he's been walked all total 78 times, including one tonight.
Just put him on. First base is open. They're just giving it to you on a silver platter.
Here's a 3-2. Oh, curve swung on and missed. They'll complete the strikeout. How about that?
Well, he did chase it, didn't he?
How about that? Taylor Youngman out of trouble. Still 2-0 Arizona. Two 2-0 the Diamondbacks leading the Brewers. Check in with that Cardsuit.com trivia question asked earlier tonight. Who was the last Brewers player to be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame? The Igniter. 11 years ago. Time flies.
That might be the easiest trivia question we've ever had.
That was on a tee.
That's normally a Sunday trivia question, you know, a day of rest.
Gonna have a couple of lobs this weekend, it looks like. Huh?
Yeah. Can't wait for tomorrow's question.
Can you top that? Ryan Braun in the air to right field. INCIARTE in foul territory for out number 1. Brewers trying to solve the puzzle that is Ruby De La Rosa. Peterson, second at bat tonight. Adam Lind struck out in the first inning. Showed the replay. Looked like he was grimacing and would come out of the game. What we were told is lower back tightness. So Peterson getting the call at first. Had a couple of starts there in his only big league experience prior to coming up here with the Brewers. I was back in 2013 with the A's. Mostly an outfielder, but as our crack research crew quickly dug up, he has over 7 minor league seasons. Appeared at first in 138 games, so some, not a ton. He was in there tonight.
And really the only other option, Martin Maldonado, the Brewers' only other catcher. He's played some first base. I would imagine Hector Gomez could play over there. Gerardo Parra played some first base in spring training.
Three and 1 the count. Peterson last night talked about his pinch hitting productivity. Drew a walk last night. Pinch hitting in the ninth. Three and 2 the count. And a little chopper that'll be handled by De La Rosa unassisted. 2 men out in the 6th. Carlos Gomez. What do you say, Mary's worth another look? De La Rosa's been prone to giving up the long ball, and he gave up a couple in the May outing against the Brewers, including this blast off the bat of Gomez. Let's see if they can get to this guy here. They've had a couple of threats going. Have stranded 5 so far, have the Brewers.
Really haven't been too many hard hit balls. You know, that fly out by Ryan Braun, the first fly ball out for De La Rosa tonight. That's how good he's been at keeping the ball down.
Gomez rips one foul. It's up down there. Gomez with 8 home runs coming into this game. Goes the other way, and this will fall in front of INCIARTE. There is hit number 4 for the Crew.
The second time that Carlos has been on base tonight. Walked in the second. Got robbed of a base hit his last time up. I figure he's going to try and steal a base here.
Brewers have been running when they've had the chance. Scooter Gennett for his first hit. Braun has a stolen base tonight, as does Segura. Let's see what Gomez is up to. Jumping a little bit. As animated as they get, and he has De La Rosa thinking.
I think the only person he's distracting is Scooter Gennett.
As a hitter, you'd like to have an idea, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Nice and calm over there. You're going to steal, okay, but all that movement sometimes distracts a hitter.
Gomez hobbled by injuries off and on this season. Those stolen base numbers down from what you normally see. He holds 12 stolen with a 7 rather in 12 attempts. He had 34 a year ago and 40 2 years ago. Those back-to-back All-Star years for Carlos. Jeanette lifts one to center. A.J. Pollock will handle it, and that'll do it for the Crew. We're through 5.5, still 2-0 Arizona. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #WithDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Hank in the picture.
That's right. Hank sighting.
Yeah.
Nice. Taylor Youngman has settled down. He gave up those 2 runs in the first and has allowed nothing since. He'll face the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. David Peralta. He was pinch hit for Peralta last night against Will Smith. In the 8th inning, as Manny Tomas came on and Smith struck him out. Peralta began his pro career with the Cardinals as a pitcher. Control issues, shoulder issues, which resulted in needing not 1 but 2 surgeries. And the Cardinals let him go, and then he was just trying to get back into circulation any way he could. Ended up playing independent ball for a couple of years. And the Diamondbacks scouts were able to discover him, you could say, and a couple of years removed from playing independent ball, here he is now in the big leagues.
I don't see many guys pitching in the minor leagues going to be a position player. You see the other way around quite a bit. Cardinals have had a couple, haven't they?
Yeah, in fact, Rick Ankiel is one of those guys who made the move that Peralta got in touch with, picked his brain.
Of course, he couldn't talk to Babe Ruth.
Nah, wouldn't have crossed over. Would have been a little late.
Probably the most
there's
famous.
a story. Yeah. Strike 3 called.
A good pitch right on the outside corner.
7 strikeout for Taylor Youngman.
Well, it's been a generous zone. You can see Lucroy setting up inside. Look where it ends up, right down the middle. Right at the knees, and Alan Porter, you can see how low he's getting. You wonder why he's calling that pitch. He gets about as low as any umpire you're going to see, and looks good to him. He's been calling that low strike all night.
Wellington Castillo takes a strike. He punched out his last trip in the 3rd inning. Curve is in there. 7 strikeouts. It's very early, obviously, in his big league career, but that matches a high for Taylor Youngman as a Brewer. Complete game outing against the Dodgers. The same thing. Struck out 7, that complete game in which he needed exactly 100 pitches. Surrendered just 3 hits and 1 run. First and only complete game turned in so far this season by a Brewers pitcher. There's the 1-2 to Castillo. Two runs, 4 hits for the Diamondbacks. Brewers also with 4 hits, but have yet to scratch. Again, that curve, slow curve, missing.
Had he not been hit once already, he might have taken one for the team right there. Slow curve ball. Got hit behind the elbow once tonight.
Going to get hit with a 73-mile-an-hour curveball. You're right. Once is enough, and he is on anyway, so he draws the 1-out walk.
And 4th walk issued by Taylor Youngman. Hey, make sure you're at Miller Park for the Goo Goo Dolls post-game concert on Saturday, August 15th, as the platinum-selling rock band takes the stage after the Brewers take on the Phillies. For tickets, go to brewers.com/concerts. Maybe Cole Hamels will pitch the no-hitter today.
Yes, he did at Wrigley Field.
It was back in 2012 on this day that Cole Hamels signed his big 6-year contract. Rewarded the Phillies today with a no-hitter.
Yes, he did. Much talked about pitcher in terms of will he move and where will he move. We get into the final week now before the trading deadline. Taylor Youngman now, as you see, in triple digits with the pitch count. In his 2nd outing with the big club, that was in a loss against the Nationals. Pitch count reached 105. This is about as far as he goes, at least at this stage. He's been in triple digits each of his last 4 outings, and now this makes it 5. It was that first inning when he needed 33 pitches to get out of it. The Diamondbacks scored their 2 runs in that frame.
I remember a couple of starts ago, he threw a complete game against the Dodgers and only needed 100 pitches to do it.
Serious efficiency he has displayed, and really even tonight, if you take away that first inning, obviously you can't do that, but he's fighting through it and keeping his team in the ball game. Corey Knebel getting loose.
Might be his last hitter here.
3-1 pitch. Jake Lamb will lift it into left field as Gerardo Parra will make the catch. 2 outs.
Maybe not. Got the out quickly there on Lamb. First time he's been able to retire him.
Would love to get him through this inning. The Brewers will have 7, 8, and 9 coming up in the 7th inning. Chris Owings, the hitter. Bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the fourth. Willington Castillo, the runner at first with 2 men out. So this is now the most pitches that Youngman has thrown as a big leaguer. Hit in the air to left. Plenty of room for Parra. And good work by Taylor Youngman. To work for it, but he has kept his team in the fight. Still 2-0. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. A 2-0 lead, Arizona with those 2 runs in the first inning. That's your story as we move to the top half of the 7th. In Phoenix, they see legendary Lambeau Field like you've never seen it before. From over the edge on Saturday, August 16th. Get pumped up to rappel down for the ultimate fan experience while raising money for Special Olympics Wisconsin. Sign up today at limited spots available. Get all your information at foxsportswisconsin.com/events. Let's see if the Brewers can get something going here. Stranded 6 through the first 6 innings. Shane Segura, Hernan Perez, and a pinch hitter in all likelihood. Segura with a big cut. He had that streak that he snapped with the home run a few days ago. It last 38 hits or singles, and then got into one. Took a good cut there. There's a 1-hopper to Cliff Pennington. Here's the first out of the inning.
It's only been 2 fly ball outs issued by De La Rosa tonight. Outfielders are taking the night off tonight. A lot of ground balls. Good sinker he's got going here against the Crew.
And those 2 fly ball outs are in the last inning. BRAUN and Scooter Gennett. There's Hernan Perez. I saw he reached on an error. The Diamondbacks have been guilty of 3 of them so far tonight. They've gotten away with it. Nice catch. Have glove. Will use it. crazy about the hat he's got going there, but the wrong NFL team. For most of our viewers,
Right.
maybe not all, but for most, the right thinking viewers.
Right. Put a G or a W on it.
Exactly right. These training camps are opening up. NFL, it's about that time.
Yeah.
The colleges are a couple of weeks away for most.
Badgers start up yet?
A couple weeks. Yeah, I want to say August 9th, right around there, 8th, 9th. Chopper off the bat of Perez, and that is a fair ball. De La Rosa plays it. That's the second out. Nice play.
I think Castillo is telling him to let it go. So De La Rosa is saying, I got this. Hey, once again this season, the Brewers are teaming up with the Wisconsin State Fair to bring fans the Fair Days double play for just $15. You'll get a Brewers ticket and a general admission ticket to the Wisconsin State Fair presented by U.S. Cellular. For details, go to brewers.com/state fair.
That time of year, too. State Fair. Here's Hector Gomez. He will pinch hit for Taylor Youngman. Two outs and the base is empty.
Had two left on the bench for Milwaukee, Chris Davis and Maldonado.
The council had to use Shane Peterson early because of lower back tightness that Adam Lind is dealing with. It had come out after his first at bat. Hector Gomez, when he gets on base, is more often than not the extra base variety. 23 hits, 14 have been extra base hits.
Takes a big cut up there. Likes the ball in. And he can handle anybody's fastball when he puts it in.
Well, when you think of him, we've talked about it, but when you get your first home run off Clayton Kershaw, it's worth talking about multiple times. And it was also Craig Counsell's first game as manager. The Brewers rallied to beat the Dodgers. They had fallen behind Kershaw and company 3-0. Gomez went deep. It's the one and only so far.
Hit a home run and a triple off of Kershaw.
Yes, he did. There's a chopper to Jake Lamb. And the Brewers are retired in order. So Rudy De La Rosa continues to roll along. 7th inning stretch, 2-0 Arizona. Field Clinic shining moment as he struggled in the first inning. Rock, 33 pitches, gave up 2 runs, the only runs of the game, but boy, he really did settle down after that.
Yeah, no kidding. Started to get some outs early in counts. He had the 7 strikeouts. Did walk 4, and one of the walks came around to score in the first inning. Walked Pollock, driven in by Goldschmidt, but other than that, still another very nice outing by Taylor Youngman. Only allowed 4 hits and 2 runs, and certainly deserved better, coming out down 2-0 as Michael Blazek takes over in the 7th. 39th appearance for Michael. He's got a 5-2 record, a 189 earned run average. Last pitched on Wednesday at Miller Park against the Indians. An inning and 2/3, gave up a run.
Pitched very well for this club. Has been touched up the last couple outings. Rock mentioned it. The last outing against Cleveland. In fact, he appeared in both games of that short series. Gave up a run Tuesday night as well, but that ERA still under 2. Pennington leads off.
He went a long stretch without pitching.
He did.
It was a good long time, and went through the All-Star break. Didn't pitch in the first series. Pitched 2 games against Cleveland and had a little bit of rust.
9 days between appearances. Through the All-Star break in there. Has been another very important part of this Brewer bullpen. Out and out.
Very consistent all year. Been a nice surprise. Didn't even think he was going to make the team out of spring training right at the last minute. Last couple of days, the Brewers elected to keep Tyler Thornburg and Blazek as long relievers.
First time Michael has made an opening day roster. And Pennington lifts a very high fly ball to right field, and this will carry out of play. He hit it well, but just pulled. It's 8, 9, and 1 in the order here for the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 7th. Run scoring double off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt. RBI single from Jake Lamb. Counting for the only runs to this point. Now he goes the other way, does Pennington, and that is out of play.
Yeah, the really impressive statistic for Taylor Youngman in his last 4 starts. He's only allowed 16 hits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's outstanding. I mean, he had a few walks today. He had 4 walks, 4 hits, 8 base runners. He has been throwing as well as anybody right now. And at this point, you got to figure it's not a fluke. You know, you're way beyond, where you can say it's just gonna, not gonna last very long. This is his 9th start.
2-2 the count to Pennington. Well, you think too, Rock, and you and Brian saw it. That the second time around, this is the first time he's faced Arizona, but talking about Youngman, when he had that second go around with the Pirates, he made some adjustments, saw the changeup more. Maybe another sign of the maturity of a young guy as Pennington goes down swinging.
Man, that's the thing. I mean, when you want to describe Taylor Youngman and what he does, throws strikes and he seems very poised down on the mound. For a guy that has only 9 starts in the big leagues, as you can see, Blazek hitting that outside corner on a two-seam fastball to get Pennington, but poised. I mean, handles the bat well. He drops down bunts. He'll get you a hit once in a while. You saw him in the first inning pick off a base runner at second base. I mean, he's got good mound presence out there.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to like, a whole lot to be encouraged about. Taylor Youngman now he's going to see if his team can mount the comeback here. There's a ground ball to Shane Peterson. And De La Rosa is out number 2. Fox Sports Wisconsin wants you to dive into fun at Noah's Ark Water Park. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com to get half off admission with the purchase of full price admission. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com now and take a ride.
Best promo reader I've ever known. Got to get your buddy Lucas to start reading promos. What do you think?
I think we're going to do that.
Maybe bring him to a game when you're at Miller Park and get an understanding of maybe how that all works.
Well, I know he can, so I think the time is now. Got to switch things up a little bit.
What would happen if you just threw one at him and just
he'd throw it back?
Yeah, he would. Good for him.
Yeah,
see, that's how it all started for me.
That's
how it all started for me. They started throwing them at me, and I figured I'd just start reading them.
Summer's flying, man. We're working together here soon, Mike and I.
Yeah.
Badgers opening training camp in a couple of weeks, and then here's Ender INCIARTE with a fly ball to right. And that will wrap up Badger football talk for the moment. We are through 7. It's 2-0 Arizona. Arizona leading the crew in 3 of this 4-game series. Miller Lite, what's on tap tomorrow? The series finale. Matt Garza, who pitched well in his last outing coming off the disabled list, will square off against Jeremy Hellickson. The coverage starts at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And we've talked a lot, Rock, about the younger pitchers in this rotation, but that was encouraging, very encouraging to see what Garza did in his last outing.
And no runs in 6 innings. I mean, 4 strikeouts, give up 6 hits, so his time on the disabled list paid off. And the shoulder issue, no problem for him his last time out.
Took care of business against the Cleveland Indians on Tuesday. Chatting it up with Mike Fiers down there. Look for win number 6. Well, Matt Garza tomorrow afternoon. Top of the order for Milwaukee, Parra, Luke Croy, and Ryan Braun. Ruby De La Rosa. And first pitch swinging, Parra, a foul ball. Bullpen activity now for the Diamondbacks. David Hernandez and Oliver Perez.
Jonathan Broxton getting loose in the Brewers pen.
And there is the big man.
See, even from here, I can tell it's Broxton. You don't need to see him on the monitor.
You don't need the monitor. You don't need binoculars. You just
that's
there's a presence.
That's Jonathan out there. He's the only guy bigger than Marcus Hannell, the bullpen catcher. That's our view right there.
There you go. Getting ready to work. Pitch number 100 coming up for Ruby De La Rosa. Brewers have just 4 hits off him, and Parra goes down swinging, chasing one upstairs. High heat. Number 1.
Still has the velocity here in the 8th inning. 97 on that last fastball on pitch number 100. Been impressive tonight. He really has. He won his last time out. Some inconsistent work on the mound, but back-to-back good starts for Ruby De La Rosa.
There's Jonathan Lucroy. If you're wondering, LaRussa, excuse me, Ruby De La Rosa, the right, has not thrown a complete game in his career. It's on a double barrel action in the Arizona bullpen. He's been cruising along pretty well tonight.
They're probably going to give him 1 base runner, I would think. At the heart and soul of the Brewers order coming up. 1 base runner brings a tying run to home plate.
2-0 the count to Lucroy. And that is inside, and 3-0 the count. See if Luke can reach and set up an opportunity for Ryan Braun, who homered Thursday night as well as last night. As we've mentioned, anything in the air has been very few and far between for the Crew in this game. Just a couple of fly balls so far. Everything else punch outs or ground balls. A 4-pitch walk. Croy is on.
Now there's your tying run coming to home plate. It's going to be Ryan Braun, and that's going to be it.
Chip Hale's going to go ahead and make his move. Braun and Shane Peterson and Gomez here in the order. A good night's work for Ruby De La Rosa.
Maybe
and
not.
I spoke too soon.
Yeah, me too.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's a vote of confidence for your right-hander out there. Ryan Braun, a home run threat coming up.
Interesting.
Yeah, usually it's the pitching coach that goes out to have a chat. I think that Chip Hale just wanted to get a sense for where De La Rosa was, how adamant he was going to be to stay in the game. Convinced his manager. Here we go.
So a little power on power here. De La Rosa versus Ryan Braun. Lucroy on at first. Let's check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Ryan Braun leads the way with a couple in this series, 18 on the year, moving him ahead of Adam Lind, Parra and Gerardo Parra, and Carlos Gomez in the mix as well. Ronnie with the 18 on the year, 248 in his career, 3 behind Robin Yount for the club record.
He's been working Braun away all night. Has really not come inside for a strike. Throwing some good pitches out there on Braun. A little fatigue setting in. Maybe he's going to make a mistake.
Ronnie's homer last night was opposite field. Working away and see if Braun can drive one. And that is a liner to center. Pollock running in. 2 men out.
Yeah, good pitch. It was a slider, and Braun got it down on the end.
So Braun retired. 2 men out here in the top of the 8th. Shane Peterson, the hitter. Pitch 107. De La Rosa needed 112 pitches in a 7-inning outing back in early May against the Padres. He's pushing a season high.
Well, down in that Diamondbacks bullpen, they got the closer up, Brad Ziegler. They sat the other two down.
Side arming Brad Ziegler. I'm going to correct myself. Actually, De La Rosa had a 115 pitch outing in mid-April in San Francisco. A loss. Some chops and foul. 2-1 the count. Just checking in. Shane had to come in to play first for Adam Lind early in the game. And exiting with lower back tightness. Chopale, the Arizona manager, moving his starter in there. Working against Peterson, the 2-1.
I think one of the reasons why Hale's leaving him in there is because of all the ground balls he's been getting tonight. I mean, it's been very difficult for the Brewers to elevate his pitches, which means pretty good chance he's going to be able to keep the Brewers in the ballpark.
Showing some confidence, but Rosa maybe has earned that trust. Here comes the 2-2. And we'll do it again. Talked about the offensive capabilities. Arizona has a lot of it. The Brewers' offense has been improving, but we've seen some pretty good pitching so far in this series.
They say the flickering cell phone lights, that's an issue in Major League Baseball.
That's a serious distraction. Now runs full.
First time we saw that was in Cincinnati. Joey Votto was up and he struck out and wasn't very pleased with his own crowd about those lights going off and on.
That's what Shane Peterson is dealing with now. Not to mention the starting pitcher having a very good night. Three and two the count. And the payoff. Line drive off the glove of De La Rosa, but right to Chris Owings. And they'll go 1-4-3 inning over. 7.5. Still 2-0 D-backs. So no hitter today at Wrigley Field. Jonathan Broxton now on the mound for the Brewers.
Now getting some work in here for Jonathan. 39th appearance, a 1-2 record that earned run average over 6. Been a rough season for Broxton. Last pitched on Wednesday against the Indians. And pitched an inning and a third. Inherited a couple of runners in the 7th inning. Has been unscored upon in his last 5 appearances.
And trying to keep his team within 2 here as we get late. We'll face A.J. Pollock, followed by Goldschmidt and David Peralta. The count. Broxton's performance of late trying to show signs that he's getting some things straightened out. Taylor Youngman with the first 6. Michael Blazek in 1, 2, 3, 7th. And now Broxton's turn in the bottom of the 8th. To center field. And Carlos Gomez drifting into right center for out number 1.
Broxton's velocity has been pretty good. The question has been, is he going to throw the slider and how good it's going to be? And he gets ahead and is able to bury that slider down and away. He's had some good outings. It seems like there's appearances when he just doesn't want to throw it.
And he'll work against Paul Goldschmidt. One scoring double in the first. Scored on the RBI knock off the bat of Jake Lamb. And that has been the offense tonight.
Yeah, who would have thought, right?
Yeah.
2 first inning runs, and it's been all goose egg since.
Goldschmidt struck out his last at bat. 2 outs, and A.J. Pollock at second. Youngman snapped off a 3-2 curve. Goldschmidt chased and did not get.
Hey, you don't see him chase too much. This as soon as we were talking about the fact that he never chases, he swings at one in the dirt. Happens to the best of us.
Yes, it does. A ball, 2 strikes. It's Triple Crown candidate
out of Wilmington, Delaware.
Yes. And runs batted in. He now has 74 RBIs. Has some work to do in the home run department to catch Bryce Harper, who's 6 behind him. Goldschmidt with 21.
And he chokes up. He's a throwback.
Yeah. You don't see it much.
No.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Young stars in this game. There are a lot of them in baseball these days.
Yeah. A lot of young ones. A lot of young kids.
Broxton ready again with the 2-2. Goldschmidt probably considered one of the elder statesmen to be a stretch, but he's 27. They have a lot of guys in this roster, guys in the lineup age 25 and younger. It's kind of one of the big stories of baseball. 20 All-Stars this year, age 25 and younger.
Yeah. Young man's game.
It is. Brewers downstairs.
That looked like a curveball from Broxton. You don't see many of those from him. thank you very much. Right in the arm.
Yet another one.
Goldschmidt did a pretty good job just getting a piece of that. You hardly ever see Broxton throw that pitch. That's the pitch he struck out on his last time up.
So we'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ground ball to Scooter Gennett. That's the second out of the inning. Nice work by Broxton getting the big guy out. Now he faces David Peralta.
And good fastball right on the corner. Not much anybody's going to do with that pitch.
Diamondbacks with just 4 hits tonight. Likewise for the Brewers. Peralta struck out a couple of times. Also line to left. Right back to the pitcher. And Jonathan Broxton takes care of business. 1, 2, 3 go the Diamondbacks. Last call for the Brewers. Down 2-0. Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Last chance for the Brewers. Another pitching duel tonight. Arizona takes a 2-0 lead as we move to the top of half of the 9th inning. De La Rosa very, very good over 8 innings, but now he turns it over to Brad Ziegler.
You know, the side-arming sinker baller, Ziegler appeared in last night's ball game, gave up a run. Actually, the run scored on a wild pitch. 15 out of 17 for Ziegler. Not a big strikeout guy, gets a lot of ground ball outs, and he's got a 127 earned run average so far this year.
Talk about save conversion streaks, and Francisco Rodriguez, the great run that he's on. Ziegler has converted his last 13 opportunities. Carlos Gomez leads off, followed by Gennett and Segura. And Gomez will lift one to left, and that will be caught at the running track by Peralta. Out number 1.
Just on the end. Sounded good, but Ziegler was able to get him on the end and keep it in the ballpark.
Just missing career homer number 100. Scooter Gennett. Ziegler has made the living serving up ground balls. Gomez took one to the track. Gennett looking for his first hit. Nothing hard about how Brad Ziegler throws, but he gets the job done.
Yeah, it's the arm action. Yeah, hitters aren't used to seeing that anymore. And he's got that sinker. He'll throw that frisbee slider.
And this is rolled to first. Goldschmidt unassisted. 2 men out. Brewers down to their final out. Well, how about 2 bloops and a blast?
You got to figure you're going to see Chris Davis at some point, and Segura gets on, maybe to try and hit one out of here.
First pitch swing and base hit to right. And the Brewers still alive here in the 9th.
Yep, good job by Segura taking it to the opposite field. Can't pull him. Well, it's going to be Perez, and then Chris Davis is going to be on the on-deck circle.
Perez looking for his first hit, trying to extend this game and get Davis a chance. We've talked about the pinch hitting production. Davis in a pinch hitting role not once but twice this year so far has homered. Let's see if they can extend the game and give him a chance. Ball 1 to Hernan Perez. Grounder to second. Reached on an error in the 5th. With a comebacker in the 7th. Segura on the move, and there's a base hit to left. Segura turns second. Brewers have him at the corners, and in fact, Chris Davis will have the opportunity.
Yeah, bottom of the order getting it done. Good at bats by Segura and Perez, and now Chris Davis. The home run threat coming up. He's staying right on it. Ziegler gets those ground balls. He's gotten a couple of ground balls, but they found the outfield.
Brewers with 6 hits tonight. They have stranded 7.
Diamondbacks with 4 hits. They haven't had a hit since the 4th inning.
Those pinch homers for Davis this year on May 11th against the White Sox. And then last weekend against the Pirates. Segura at third, Perez at first. Ziegler versus Davis here in the 9th. Big cut and out in front.
Yeah, that started him out with a slider that time. Ball just doesn't seem to get there.
Oh, 0-1 to the pinch hitter, Chris Davis. Count evens. Been a quiet night. The Brewers have a big chance here in the 9th inning. Ziegler ready with the 1-1. Will he hold up? No. Mark Ripperger says no, and it's 1-2. On the year with 7 homers. He is down 1-2 to Brad Ziegler. Here it comes. Missed away.
Keeping it down there, isn't he?
It is.
Well, Porter's been known to call that pitch tonight. Just missed.
Davis has 2 pinch homers. Does he have a third in him tonight? 2-2 the count. hands full.
And now Perez going to get a head start. Good chance he can score on a gapper here.
Gerardo Parra waiting on deck. Wheels are turning here in Phoenix. Here comes the 3-2. And the bases are loaded.
Not even close.
So the tying run at second. Go ahead run at first. And the former Diamondback Gerardo Parra with a chance. Brad Ziegler, who has converted 13 consecutive save opportunities, is in a jam tonight.
Now you got the tying run at second base and perhaps one of the hottest Brewer hitters at the plate, where a single will probably tie it up.
Mike Harkey, the pitching coach. Parra has had a couple opportunities against Ziegler. 2 for 3 against him, including a double. Bases loaded, Crew down a pair in the ninth. Segura at third, Perez at second. Chris Davis the runner at first. And that was strike one to Gerardo Parra. He was 1 for 4 tonight, a third inning single to right. Also reached on an error. That was in the fifth. Ziegler ready with a 1-strike pitch. 0-2. Parra hitting .318. 6th best in the National League. He's been even better than that since late April. See what he's done with the bases loaded. He's inflicted some damage. That's the situation he steps into now, but he's down 2 strikes and nothing. Ziegler will waste one.
Here now Perez getting a huge secondary lead. He's going to be off on contact. And the way he's creeping toward third base, I don't think there's any way they're going to be able to score him, but Parra's got to do his part.
A ball, 2 strikes. That is strike 3 called. Locked him up, and the Diamondbacks win it. Brewers load him in the ninth, but they are turned back as Brad Ziegler gets the save, and it's a tough luck loss for Taylor Youngman and the Milwaukee Brewers.